busted. All right. Let's see if y'all can hear me, see me, feel me. Was it Pink Floyd? No, don't remember. All right. What do you mean live in 10 minutes? I should be live now. All right. You guys can see me, right? I'm seeing 5x5s. Okay. For some reason, my screen just went to live in 10 minutes. So we will try to refresh and see if that works. There I am. All right. Yeah. No, I'm live now. Thanks, YouTube. God. If it's not one fight, it's another with these yahoos. But, all right. So, first things first, guys. Tonight is the sayonara to this channel. We'll be back home tomorrow. So, you'll find me over there tomorrow. But thank you all for following me over here. And we can all keep on what's going on. And we'll be back here eventually. You know how that goes. We're just going to bounce between the two of them. And worst comes to worst, revenge is always out there too. So if you guys just found me here, understand the links are down below. We'll be back on the main channel tomorrow. So, all right. Personally, for me and Mrs. P, we've been taking advantage of nice weather. It's been in the high 50s, low 60s the last couple of days. So Mrs. P's been out burning all this brush from all the tree cutting that we had a couple of weeks ago, now that it's stopped raining. And I got out today, well, let's see, yesterday I finished the bridge, so that's done. I'll put that up for you guys here in the next day or two. And then actually got out and tilled 2 of the gardens in today, so that's what I've done. Yes, I know some of you guys still have snow on the ground, but I'm taking advantage. It's supposed to be in the 50s and 60s here for the next 2 weeks, but it's supposed to rain most of it. I figure, okay, I want to get this done because by the time that rain stops, there's stuff that needs to be going in the ground. Radishes, peas, that sort of stuff is going in here in the next 3 weeks or so. So, yeah, that's the excitement around yonder. And we all know what tonight is. Tonight is the will Kevin McCarthy tear up the speech or not? I doubt it, but the other thing is, how many lies will Joe tell? How many times will Joe go off script? How many made-up stories will Joe have? I mean, I love Whoopi Goldberg sitting there today saying, Joe needs to come out and tell everybody that, we can't rewrite history. I'm like, you realize who you're talking to. This is the guy who rewrites history on a daily basis, whether it's Corn Pop or Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King or whatever. It's like, I was there and I was there and I was there. And, right, Joe? Sure. Tell me another one, Joe. Let me guess. You were the first man on the moon too, right? So, but yes. So that is the one big piece of news. I want to know what will be absolutely hilarious. If you guys saw this today, Marjorie Taylor Greene was walking around Congress today with a white balloon, white helium balloon. I thought it was hilarious. It's like, this is the most important thing to talk about. Yeah, I don't know, something along the lines of, gee, Joe, why did you not do anything about this? China paying you too much? I mean, the funniest thing about that whole balloon scenario, all right, is, there's all, if the people would have never seen it, it never would have been released to the public or whatever it is. And then Joe comes out, I told them to shoot it down on Wednesday, and they told me not to. And I'm thinking to myself, dumbass, do you know what commander-in-chief means? That means everybody answers to you. If you say do it, they do it, okay? It's called following orders. I don't care if it's a 4-star general. You're the commander-in-chief. You outrank him. If you tell him to do it, he's not supposed to question you. He's supposed to do it. So, as soon as I saw Joe said, I told him to shoot it down, I'm like, dude, you're lying. Anybody who's ex-military knows that. Anybody who's an American knows that, okay? Commander-in-chief means you sit at the pinnacle. Everybody answers to you as long as it's a legal order. Guess what? Shooting down a foreign spy vehicle, yeah, that'd be a legal order. So, all right, let's get out. If you want to go watch Joe at 9 o'clock, more power to you. I hope to God you have either one hell of a barf bag next to you, or you haven't eaten dinner or something, or have earplugs in, because either that, the one thing I want to know if they're going to have a laugh track on the State of the Union tonight. That's it, because it's going to be the greatest comedy show ever. It's like, I know everybody's asking me, it's like, oh, are you going to watch it? No. I'll catch the skit on Saturday Night Live. It'll probably be more realistic and less funny. So, all right, let's get into the normal deal on Tuesdays and Saturdays here, Q&A. So, as usual, guys, if you got questions for me, please put them in all caps. Okay, it's the only way I'm going to see them. All right, me trying to scan through stuff as fast as I can. No topics off limits. Just do me a favor, keep it PG-13 in here. Okay. The one thing that y'all know we will not put up with, myself nor the mods, is any rudeness toward me, toward each other, toward whatever. If you want to disagree, disagreement is totally fine. You want to be an asshole about it, you won't get a second chance to say another word. So that's bye-bye real quick. So, all right. Keep it clean. Have fun. Who knows what the hell we're going to talk about for the next 54 minutes, but let's get into it and see what we want to talk about here. So let me get to the top. And Miranda S., what survey website did I work for? I didn't work for any of them. I used to use one. It's called Opinion Outpost, and yes, it's still available. But no, I've never worked for any of them. Let's see. Scrolling. Keep them doggies scrolling. Beer count, 1 sip out of 1. There we go. Let's see. Sutton's Days. Hey, what's up, Lisa? Okay. Snowy Michigan. There you go. Good to see you here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys don't know Lisa's channel, if you got any canning questions, go ask Lisa. She's the one that's the canning queen on YouTube. So, yes. Mods, if you want to put up the link to Lisa's page, Sutton's Days there, I'd appreciate it. Rural Internet Prepper, thank you for the super chat. Was wondering if I heard today that General Keane said the balloon track was, he thinks, the exact track a hypersonic EMP would take. Your thoughts? Honestly, I have no idea what track it would take. That one, honestly, that wouldn't make a ton of sense to me, because we'd have more advance notice of it, I would think, because we can monitor. I mean, not that they can't monitor stuff out over the ocean, but with satellites or whatever, but we have on land in Alaska, people. That's it. We don't have people out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean between, say, Beijing and Los Angeles or whatever. Honestly, if it's hypersonic, it's really not going to matter. I mean, to get across the Pacific in a hypersonic missile, what's it going to take? 10 minutes tops. Okay. By the time we realize what's going on, it's already here. So, let's see. Texas Sass, what are good flowers to encourage bees in my garden? Bees or butterflies, I mean, you're going to want both. You're practically talking about almost anything, especially flowers most that have a cup to them. Okay, so think like tulips or hyacinths are really good. I'm trying to think, daffodils. mean, those are, we're looking at spring flowers there. I mean, basically anything that's got a good flower. If I'm not mistaken, red and yellow are the two colors. It's either red and yellow or red and orange are the two colors that will attract bees the most. So if you're going to plant something, as somebody just said, bee balm, there's a good one. But yeah, I believe it's either red and yellow or red and orange that are the best for attracting bees. If you're talking about butterflies, then you're looking at more the yellows and the purples, the more cooler colors, where the bees like the hotter colors. So, if you want butterfly bush, what am I thinking, like black-eyed Susans or things like that, cone flowers, those are good for attracting those pollinators as well. Let's see. Kip Russell says hello from South Alabama. Back at you from East Tennessee. Okay, let's see. Soapy Gal, I read they're putting a Cuban salsa dancer on our quarter. You're kidding me. I mean, are we going to do the new quarters and we're going to have to make them all racial now? Hey, why not? Let's just do something like that. Harbor Prepper, thank you for the super chat. Did I see the city of Grand Forks, North Dakota told the Chinese to pound sand when they announced to build a corn processing facility on land they bought near the Grand Forks Air Force Base? Yeah, I did. Whether or not they still get away with doing it, I don't know. Because we were talking about this the other day, and I mean, you know what it is. A corn processing plant. What are they going to have? Huge silos. What do those do? Those go up nice and high in the air. What does that give you? A vantage point to look down upon something. If anybody doesn't think that their idea there was to, this is like out of the old Batman TV show, hiding something or whatever. Oh, we'll hide in a silo and nobody will find us there. That's literally how dumb the Chinese think we are. Considering who's in the White House, they're not that far off. But yeah, it's good that at least the city has put the kibosh on that for the time being. Because I mean, even let's just say, for example, that it was totally legit and that was all that they wanted to do was process corn. Please tell me what food comes out of China that you actually want to eat. Okay. Gee, they'll just shove this into it. The cleanliness standards aren't there. There's metal shavings in it. Don't worry about it. I mean, these are things that literally that we hear about in food that comes from China. I'll say it a million times. There is nothing quality about anything that comes out of China, period. It's all junk. And yes, I know EcoFlow was made in China, but try to find a U.S.-made generator. You're not going to. I am Spartacus. Joe sounds like the second coming of Al Gore. I cannot believe I'm going to say this. Boy, is that an insult to Al Gore. Al Gore is a freaking idiot. Okay, no question. I mean, he's an idiot for what comes out of his mouth. He's very smart for fleecing people. He's done a great job between inventing the internet and inventing global warming. He's made millions upon millions of dollars. You can tell by how much fatter he is now than he was in the 2000 elections. But yeah, he's eating well. But yeah, I mean, Joe reminds me more of like Bert and Ernie. That would be a little, I don't know, Abbott and Costello, Three Stooges. That's a better place to put Joe. Potato Joe's first Christmas was the first Christmas. Yeah, no kidding. He thinks he's Jesus Christ. Let's see. Rural Internet Prepper says, you heard the balloon track was a test for their exact track of the hypersonic EMP. It could be. I mean, for all we know. Uh, again, I'm not going to say it's not possible, but I mean, we know it was something nefarious. It was not a weather satellite because, again, like I said the other day, if it was a weather satellite, gee, they lost one over Canada, they lost one over Latin America. Wow, that's an awful lot of weather balloons that you're sending up that you lose track of. So, you know, who knows? But again, it could be made in China quality again too. Susan Millay, 62 years young today. Woohoo! Thank you for all you do. Well, happy birthday, Susan. Prayerful EA regarding the balloon. I guess he should have done an executive order. Yeah, that's it. Now, he only does executive orders on things that are stupid. You know, I'm going to make sure that I have all the control over all the money. Yeah. Said nobody ever, gee, Joe, you're intelligent. We want you to be in charge of the finances. Ed, thank you for the super chat. Don't forget, Al Gore sells carbon credits. He has a sale on them right now. I mean, and y'all know my comment on that. It's like, I can buy carbon credits. What's the money going for? Probably going to put fuel in Al's jet. Okay. Are you going to plant 20 trees with it? No. You know, we're just going to slide it right in the hip pocket. That's all it is. You know, maybe we should all start our own little side gigs, you know, selling carbon credits on eBay. See how much we make real fast. Oh, wait a minute. We'd probably get busted for fraud. Only politicians are allowed to do stuff like that. Prep Rebel, great hat. Thank you. I haven't worn this one in a while. I was like, okay, bad hair day. You know, when I wear a hat on Tuesday, it's a bad hair day. Sweating. It's like, woo! But yeah, I haven't worn my vet hat here in a while on the channel, so it's like, okay, I wear this one all the time, as you can tell how grayed out it is. But it's like, all right, you know, wear the pinball hat or the Trump hat or something like that. It's like, I'm put this one on tonight. One of these days, I got to wear the Uper hat that Joel sent me. Okay. Let's see. Robert Winslow. Joe standing there in his diapers, looking up with his mouth wide open, watching the Air Force pop his balloon while he was eating his cookies and cake. You know, when Joe heard balloon, he thought it was a birthday party and he wanted ice cream. You know, threw a fit because he couldn't get ice cream. That's a dumbass. Let's see. J.S. Thomas, we live in 6B zone. When should we start our peas and our tomatoes? Okay, so you're in the same zone as me, and I was smart. I figured somebody'd come up with the gardening question, so I opened up my deal here. Peas, let's see. Peas, you are planting, if you do it the way I do, in the gutters on March 1st, in the ground somewhere between the 15th and the 20th. Trust me, peas will be plenty big enough in 2 weeks to plant. Tomatoes get planted in your seed trays mid-March and will go into the ground somewhere around the first week of May. So there you go. That one I can help you with because you're in the same zone as I am. Now, doesn't mean microclimates aren't different. Those are rough estimates. If it's pouring freaking rain or something like that, oh my God, I gotta go out and plant. No, you can wait a day or two or something like that. But you want to get your tomatoes in once the ground is warmed up a little bit, certainly after the last frost date. Sun drop it. Boy, that's saying something. I'd rather watch SpongeBob SquarePants. I'd rather watch Biden. I hated Gilbert Gottfried's voice so bad. I mean, nails on a chalkboard were pleasant compared to me. I mean, his voice drove me nuts. I cannot listen to him. So, Randy Brown. Unbelievable. A local NBC station said living in the country is bad for your health. Yeah, I don't know. Fresh air, clean water, green grass, Not much pollution, you know, not much congestion in the way of people or traffic. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Hey, let me go into another cigar bar and, stuff my face with, those bodega burritos. That's good for you. Oof. Jay Myers, welcome to the Tennessee State of the Union address by His Honorable Pinball. Yeah, no. Thank you, no. Let's see. Fastball 2611. Pinball, when the shit hits the fan, what will the homeowners do? There will be millions of us. You will continue going on your life as normal as possible. Probably won't be going to work anymore because that'll be done. But you will be spending your time protecting your land, protecting yourself, and doing whatever it takes to feed yourself, keep yourself warm, keep yourself clean. That would be it. Basically, you will go back to an 1800s lifestyle, all right, where your sole objective on a Tuesday was to make it to Wednesday. That was it, okay? And that meant not freezing to death. That means eating, drinking, getting some rest, and going that way. That's it, okay? That's pretty much what we're all going to be doing. Patrick King, I think an EMP would cause a major domino effect. I agree. I mean, I briefly touched on this, I think it was in yesterday's video, where, I said, just because you live in Omaha, Nebraska, if something happens in New York City, don't think that, you're in the clear. Understand, if an EMP happens in New York or Washington or something like that, that's going to affect us all. The banking system is toast. Okay, done. All right. If you're on Social Security or anything like that, that's gone. Okay. Medicare, toast. Any sort of government programs, gone. You can immediately figure that the airlines are shut down. So that means transportation of a lot of goods is next to nothing. I mean, just because it happens 2,000 miles away from you, like you said, the domino effect is very, very, very accurate. It'll affect everybody. It's not going to affect you, in my example, that the power is going to be out, but the UPS guy isn't coming with your Amazon delivery this afternoon either. So, the grocery store is not going to have the food because the logistics companies can't, figure out what to do. However, would be, they can't get a hold of truckers. There is no fuel. That, all it takes is one. It doesn't have to take out the entire country. All it takes is take out DC, New York, LA, something like that. Take out one city, and like you said, the domino effect will get everybody. Let's see. Vicky Savage, I don't know why Biden keeps saying not a joke. He is one. We laugh because it hurts to cry. Like I said, I mean, I made light of his speech in my late morning video today, with all the great accomplishments that Joe has. Joe is a joke. I mean, for him to even try to say with a straight face that the economy is doing great, or, that he's a good president, he literally should be embarrassed to go to Congress tonight. And to think that he's going to come up and say, well, when I win the presidency in 2024, Joe, if we had an election today, you'd lose your ass, period. I think there's a lot of Democrats out there that wish they voted for Trump now, because even though they didn't like him, they sure as hell don't like $11 eggs, $4 gas, and, astronomical electric bills and everything else you've done to destroy the country. Kevin Little, just started my seeds yesterday. Got a bad case of spring fever, central New York. Well, what seeds, I guess, is the thing. Because you got to remember, different seeds need to be started at different times because they go in the ground at different times. If you started peas or something like that, by the time you can put them outside, those things are going to be a tangled up catastrophe for you. If you've got big enough space, you're in central New York. I'm guessing that you've probably still got snow on the ground. Up there, I'd say you're probably not putting your tomatoes in the ground until around beginning of June. Your tomatoes could easily be 2 and 3 feet high by then. You're talking about, 4 months to keep them in a greenhouse? I'm hoping you can grow them to fruition in the greenhouse. Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Pinball, what is your favorite beer again? Well, my favorite beer of all time is a Scottish ale called Belhaven, and I don't know if you could even get it anymore. The beers I like that I can at least get, obviously my Yingling, Leinenkugel out of Wisconsin, Shiner Bock out of Texas. Those Texans are happy to hear that one. There's probably a lot of woohoos going on right now. My favorite imported beer would probably be either Pilsner Urquell, which you guys probably all know, or Żywiec, which is ZWIEC. That one's actually Polish. So you have to think of, if you want to list some beers, there you go. Okay. Country Humans Network. Are you better off to plant onion seeds or onion seedlings, or onion seedlings by, I don't know what the L greater than KE part is, but Dixondale Farms? If you were planning on planting onion seeds, you needed to start those somewhere around Christmas. So you're late now for trying to run seeds, do onion seeds. At this point of year, you're absolutely better off getting your starts from Dixondale, and you better hurry because they will sell out fast. So I know they sent me a deal. When did Bruce send that to me? Hang on, I'll tell you here in a second because I've still got the email. They sent me the reminder on January 16th, time to reserve my onion plants is here. So I'll give you that. That was 3 weeks ago. So one of y'all says you have special onions that you're going to send me. So I'm waiting on those. We'll try that. So, all right. Checks to mix one. First time growing Brussels sprouts. Any advice? I suck at growing Brussels sprouts. I can get the plants to grow. Plants will look beautiful. And I get these teeny tiny little Brussels sprouts that are the size of a marble. I don't have any luck with them. And it's not just here. I haven't had luck with them when I was up in Massachusetts. I didn't have luck with them here. I didn't try growing them in Vegas because obviously they're a cold weather crop. It ain't gonna work in Vegas. So Vinny Brady, what would you suggest for fertilizer for potatoes, as in buckets in Southern California? Well, let me get to my chart here and I will tell you. If I can find where it is. There it is. Potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. Potatoes, where are you? Here we go. All right. When you plant, put about 1/4 of a cup, 10, 10, 10, triple 13, whatever you use, a balanced fertilizer per plant. Sprinkle with a little bit of Epsom salt, and then side dress with a 5, 10, 10 at 6 weeks, less nitrogen. You're trying to get that potassium and phosphorus in there because you want that root to build up. But after about the first 6 weeks, the plant should be pretty much full, and now you want to get that tuber going. So there you go. So 1/4 cup balanced fertilizer to start, a little bit of Epsom salts, 6 weeks, side dress with 5, 10, 10. All right, let's go back to the screen here, if I can figure out how to use a computer. There we go. Sutton's Days. Flowers that don't attract deer but are good pollinators. God, what are the names of those things I've got? I've got a couple of them. They're purple. I don't know. Mrs. P's the flower person around here. But most of what we buy are deer-resistant plants for our flowers and stuff like that. And I know specifically there's one that we use. It's purple. It's a purple plant. It's got purple spike flowers on it and stuff like that. I can't think of what it's called. Sorry, I don't have can't think of the answer. Jay Myers, daffodils are up in West Tennessee near my location. Our tulips have started breaking ground. We don't have any daffodils planted, but our tulips are coming up. Maybe an inch high, but even then. Linda Friesen says butterfly bush and rose of Sharon. Yeah, I've got both of those out there. Joan S., I now have grand chicks. My son in Colorado is now a chicken rancher. Thank you for all the prepping inspiration. Hey, there you go. Sit at the bottom of the driveway and sell eggs. You make a fortune right now. Acushnet Prepper, whatever happened to the oath to uphold the Constitution, both domestic and abroad? Yeah, when you've got congressmen coming in and taking the oath of office on a Superman comic or something like that, it tells me they don't take it too seriously. They walk in either side, whether they're meeting with, Schumer or McConnell or whatever, and goes, okay, now you're here. You do what I tell you to do and make sure you spend your 10 hours a week calling people and demanding money. That's it. You got about 5 people that control Washington, or at least the Senate. A couple of people, 3 or 4 people that control the Senate, and the rest of them are just expected to be lapdogs. Fastball 2611. What is the reason they say you should plant marigolds with your tomatoes? You're trying to keep away the nematodes. The marigolds will keep away the nematodes that will attack your tomato, basically. So that's what you're doing with the marigolds. It's like, I forget the one with the cucumbers. Boy, my plant knowledge tonight is just completely off the top of my head. There's another one that you plant near cucumbers, a flower. Somebody's in here going to know it. Because it's more attractive to the caterpillars to go eat the whatever the hell it's called, than to eat the cucumbers. Nasturtiums. There we go. Yeah, plant nasturtiums near your cucumbers. All right. Mama Bear, how do coffee grounds go into your garden? Literally, I mean, after you drink them, okay, after you've used them to brew it, just spread them in the garden. It's easiest to dry them out. You don't want the clumps, but you can sit them out on a cookie sheet and leave them out in the sun. They'll dry out or whatever, and then just sprinkle them out in the garden like it's a fertilizer or whatever. That's what I use it for. Coffee grounds they will not acidify your soil. You took all that acid in with the coffee, but they are excellent sources of nitrogen. So that's why it's part of my fertilizer recipe, because it's great for putting nitrogen in. But you can dump them in your compost pile if you want, or you can spread them around straight in the garden. They're just a good nitrogen boost. Smoky Blazer says howdy from FEMA Region 7. There you go. Gigi the backseat herbalist, borage and comfrey are great bee attractors, and comfrey is a great fertilizer. I've got comfrey. The big thing when you buy comfrey, guys, if you're going to plant it, Bocking 4 or Bocking 14, those are the ones that will not spread. If you get any of the other varieties, You want to talk about an invasive plant that will take over everything, and you are not getting rid of it. It's kind of like raspberries. You get the teeniest, tiniest little piece of root in the ground that you missed, you got a new plant. So, Bocking 4, Bocking 14. Six-figure bookkeeper. Do you think that one person could run a homestead by themselves? I know this woman who doesn't have a job and she wants a homestead. Her husband works full-time, has zero homestead skills, and isn't interested. Depends on how far into it she wants to get. Okay, if she's talking about raising chickens and goats and cattle and everything like that and doing all the gardening and farming and all that, that's going to be tough. If she limits it to size and scale, it can be done. Okay, it's not going to be easy. She's going to work her ass off. Okay, because again, I'm guessing the husband's going to say, come home and said, I worked all day. I want dinner. Honey, I need my clothes clean. You're home all day. You need to do laundry, whatever would. And she's like, well, yeah, I was out milking the cows or tending the garden or doing whatever. You know, there's a lot that goes on with homesteading. And if she's just wanting to start, it's also very expensive to get started. Once you get things in play, then it's not bad. But you want to have chickens. At a minimum, you need a chicken coop. You want to have rabbits, you need rabbit cages, okay? Let alone you want to have cows, you need to have pasture area that's got to have grass in it. Cattle feed is not cheap. You got to have fenced areas, whatever it would be. I mean, if she wants to start a homestead and the husband's not going to help, do they have a fenced-in area? Is she going to get out there with a post hole digger and be putting a fence in for the next 2 months? Can it be done? Yes, but I got to say it's going to be extremely difficult all by yourself. But I mean, anything can be done, but I hope she'd get help from him. Jay Myers, now Biden hasn't had his ice cream today. As long as he said his change of his Pampers were okay. Let's see. Brian Kessler, love them plastic peas from China. Yeah, there was a story out today about now they're finding microplastics in the food that's coming over from China. Yes. Healthy disrespect for authority. What do I think is more likely, a targeted full grid down attack or an EMP? I guess it really doesn't matter. They both can have the same effect. I'd have a tendency to think that the targeted attack would be more likely, just because that's easier to figure out or easier to hide who did it. Okay. If we see a missile all of a sudden launched from Moscow or Tehran or Beijing, we know who did it. Okay. And trust me, as soon as we track something like that incoming, there's a barrage that's going back the other way, guys. It's not like nothing's going to happen. But a targeted hacking attack to take out the grid, I think that's a lot more likely, because that can be done from anywhere by anybody. And going to be very difficult to figure out who did it. I mean, the reason I say very difficult, that's some seriously sophisticated hacking to get into the grid. So, it's not going to be, two high school kids playing around. What was that movie? Weird Science or whatever it was back in the 80s. It's not going to be two kids playing around on a computer and go, yeah, here we go. We got this done. Or War Games or something like that. Angela Land. If Pinball purchases, Pinball. There you go. Yeah, me too. If Biden purchases, God, I just can't believe I compared myself to him. If Biden purchases an electric bicycle, we'll be able to stay upright. Joe would have a hard time staying upright on a stationary bike. Okay. Yeah. Broken Dolly, what do I think about the train wreck in Ohio and the burning off of the chemicals? I don't know much about it. I mean, whether or not it was a sabotage on the tracks or whether it was just a an accident. However, uh, I don't know enough about it to even be able to speculate on something. Tina Hutchins, do I think Al Gore got fat from fake meat and crickets? No, Al Gore got fat by collecting carbon credits. You know, it's not that his waistline's got any bigger. It's that's how big his money belt is. Miranda Babcock. I'm building up eggshells, coffee grounds, etc. I'll be able to use this on my garden this year, next. This year, absolutely. You're going to use, if you're making the same stuff I am, which is as close as you can get it, okay? I'm not talking about, 6 ounces of this and 6 ounces of that, just whatever you got. Banana peels, chicken bones, coffee grounds, and eggshells. Mix all that together. Primary place you want to use that. If you only have so much, first place it goes is on your nightshades, okay? Your tomatoes, your peppers, your eggplants, because those are the ones that are most susceptible to blossom end rot, okay? So that's why you want to get those in. After that, you can use it as an all-purpose 10-10-10 fertilizer, roughly, okay? If you've got more coffee grounds in there than you have chicken bones by weight, obviously you're going to have more nitrogen than you are going to have phosphorus in there. Simple as that. But you can figure out it's going to be roughly a balanced fertilizer. Trucker Hershey, did I see Beyond Meat is laying off 20%? Yep, nobody wants it. That's it. Was it Impossible Foods already went through a layoff? Beyond Meat's now going through it because, they had all this, we're at Burger King, the Impossible Burger. And then it was a fad, pet rock. And everybody's like, this sucks. And nobody wants to buy it. To top it off, with the cost of ground beef right now, the Impossible Meat is going up in line with ground beef. You want to entice people to eat it? Maybe when ground beef went up and you kept your prices the same, maybe people go, hey, you know what? I still want a burger. Let's try one of these. No, they're like, hey, ground beef's going up. You know what? Let's raise our prices too. It's freaking vegetables and a whole shitload of, chemicals. Storm Chasing Gal, how's the doggies? Daffy's doing normal. Copper's arthritis seems to be getting a little bit worse. We're having, every once in a while, we've got to pick his butt up off the ground. He's having a hard time standing. So we're just upping his arthritis medicine. It's not hip dysplasia or anything like that. So, but he's hanging there. He's still a happy dog. So we'll do whatever it takes to keep him around. Don't worry. It's like Mrs. B and I joke, because I've told you guys before, Copper's our corgi, okay? And if you guys have ever looked at what corgis cost, corgis are expensive, to the tune of like $3,000 for a puppy. Well, we rescued Copper when he was 5, and I think we had to pay $150 to the shelter to rescue him. And I joke with Mrs. B. I said, yeah, he was cheap on the front end. I said, boy, is he catching up on the back end. Because his medicine for his allergies is $160 a month. It's like, But, okay. Mama Bear, do I mix leaves and coffee grounds together in your garden? Thank you. Yes, and that's a very good mixture right there, because you've got the leaves. Funny you say this, because it's something that I talked about in my video that I recorded for you guys about me working in the garden today and how soil preparation. But yeah, because leaves are a high carbon source and coffee is a high nitrogen source. Now you got to remember this: when you want as much organic matter in your soil as you can get. All right, absolutely. But it's all going to continue to decompose in the soil. All right. And so, like me, I've got leaves. One of my gardens is got heavy leaves in it. and I talk about this in the video, I'm going to have to heavily add nitrogen to that soil this year because the leaves, in trying to decompose, will be competing with my vegetables for that nitrogen. So yes, you definitely want to be able to mix leaves and coffee grounds. You guys know I'm a huge proponent of using diluted urine because that is an excellent source of free nitrogen. Von Mousetrap, pinball friend in Massachusetts says they can't get kerosene this winter. Have you heard of this? No, I haven't. That's the first I've heard. I've heard anybody say that they couldn't get kerosene. I mean, I've heard earlier in the winter that it was expensive. People were saying it was like $7 or whatever to get kerosene, but I have not heard anybody say they can't get it. That's not a good thing. Not that kerosene is one of the more highly used fuels, but there's still plenty of people that have kerosene heaters, kerosene lamps, et cetera, that will use that. Sherry Jenkins, is it too late to plant onion seeds in zone 6? Yeah, in zone 6, absolutely. Because, I mean, we're getting to the point now where you're going to be putting your sets in 4 weeks. That's it. You're not going to, you'll have what looks like grass. If you have onions now, they'll never make a transplant. You're not going to be able to get them thick enough. So yeah, at this point, you're like I said, if you wanted to start from seed, you had to start somewhere around Christmas. Buzzard Prepper, 10% for pinball, the real big guy. Yeah, no. Sorry, I don't want anything from China. I don't want anything from Ukraine. No. No. Yeah, Mountain Man, there you go. Even the animals don't pick the dumb ones to be the leader. That tells you Democrats are lower than animals. So treat them accordingly. Redneck Renegade, this will defend. There you go. Yes, that would be the good old third cav motto, I guess, if you will. Let's see. Nodak, how can Biden claim everything is going well? Because he's getting 10% and Hunter's bringing in millions to him. Everything's going great in the Biden household. Jill feeds him his pudding. Jill changes his diaper. He shows up to work for 20 minutes a day, waves at the crowd, says something stupid, goes back to sleep, watches cartoons, and that's that. Everything is going well in Biden's world. You know, the problem is the rest of us aren't welcome to his imagination. Blaine, I didn't catch it, but I agree with you. It said sell carbon credits for freedom seeds. And then, of course, it shot to the bottom there. So, all right. Acushnet Prepper, whatever happened to the Oath Keepers? Didn't the guy who was a leader wind up getting 3 years in prison or something like that? So that may have had something to do with it. I don't pay attention to all these organizations. I mean, I know they're not, what is it called, white supremacists or anything. I mean, no, but I don't pay attention to what they're doing or what BLM's doing or what QAnon's doing or anything like that. It doesn't affect me. So I've got way too many other things that I need to use the brain cells I have, for what's going on with the 3%ers or the Oath Keepers or anything like that. I don't belong, so I don't really care. Vicky Savage, purple dead nettles. They bloom early. Yes, that's one I've got, but I cannot think of it. Still not coming into my head. Good evening, Pinball. Happy 20 years later, Iraq. Do you believe we'll be fighting in Ukraine before summer? Yes. I said at the beginning of the year, I figured we will have boots on the ground this year, and it'll be probably late spring. You'll have the spring offensive by Russia. It'll be late spring by the time that we're in there. because Ukraine is going to get their ass handed to them, and NATO's going to freak, and they're going to send troops in. My opinion. Appalachian Woman 77 says borage for cucumbers. That's another good one to plant. Let's see. Old Coyote, how to keep spider mites off of tomato plants. I don't have the issue. I'd probably, if I had to say anything, I'd say probably spray them with neem oil. That would probably be my guess. I don't have the issue, so I don't worry about it. I mean, the easiest way that you're going to keep the spider mites away is to make sure that your plants are very healthy, well watered, and I mean, and that should do it. I mean, remember, guys, that the bugs primarily will go. Now, caterpillars are different, okay, but I'm talking about insects. Insects will primarily go after the weak part of a plant. So if, you want to keep your plant healthy. You see dead leaves or whatever, take them off. Just gardening's not something you put it in the ground, you forget about it, and you come back in 90 days and pick your fruit. No, it's work. Secret Squirrel, do I know if any other states are working on bills for the same type of property tax escrow? No, I don't. Stacy Sheffley, is it too late to start onions from seed in zone 4B? You're probably 6 weeks after. You're probably right at the end of time to do it now. I mean, do not pass go, do not collect $200, get off the live stream and go plant your onion seeds. You're at the very end of, I'm figuring you're probably 6 weeks behind us. If I backtrack out to Christmas, that's about 7 weeks. So 6 weeks. So yeah, you're at the yes, it's the time, but yes, it's the end of time. Linda Bopp, can you put coffee grounds in the garden even after the veggies have been planted? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. They're not, you're not adding something that's going to burn the plant. Remember, when you're adding organic stuff, coffee grounds are organic, guys. I mean, literally, it's a plant. Okay, it comes from a coffee bean. All you're doing is throwing other plant material into your garden. It won't, no matter what you do. Well, don't use unused coffee grounds, but you're not going to hurt your plants. Batman's Lady, best places to find comfrey to purchase to plant. You're going to have to find a nursery. You're not going to go into Walmart or Home Depot or something like that and find the right kind. You're going to have to go to a nursery and specifically ask them if they have it or if they can get it. You can find the roots on Amazon or eBay sometime or whatever, but again, somebody may tell you that it's Bocking 14 and it's not, but my best suggestion would be to go to a nursery, tell them what you're looking for, and ask them to point you in the right direction or see if they can get it for you. Yeah, Vicky Savage, I would rather fight comfrey than quack grass. Agree with you, and then it comes to a point where you go, I don't care. Sorry. There we go. There's the hiccup. Yeah, my entire lawn is just whatever weeds grew. Welcome to Tennessee. That's just the way it is up here. I plant grass seed, and I'll have some grass, and I'll have some clover, and I'll have some quack grass, and crabgrass, and dandelions, and whatever, and that's what the lawn is. There's no way I'm going to put turf grass down on my property. It's like, okay, fine. How am I going to water it? You got to get an in-ground sprinkler system for 3 acres. Yeah, there we go. Not a golf course. I can't charge somebody $40 or $50 to walk around on my grass for a while. Let's see. Who knows what golf costs anymore? It's probably $100 now. Let's see. Lucky Dame correct. No advertising in chat. This is not Craigslist. Paladin 1, Pinball. How often should I pee on straw bales for nitrogen if I use the straw bale method? If you go back and watch the video on it, you're going to use your nitrogen mixture, whatever it would be. Day 1, water day 2, nitrogen day 3, water day 4, nitrogen day 5 for the first 7 days. And then it's going to be after water there. So you're going to do it every other day for 7 days. Flint McRock, I'd hate to be sitting behind Potato Head during the State of the Union. No kidding. Tennessee Mountain Preparedness. Will potatoes grow in partial sunlight? Yes. As long as they're getting some, they don't have to have full sun. How do you put this? Part sun is always one of those things. Define it, okay? Some people think part sun means, well, it's in the shade and it gets an hour's worth of sun, and some people go, well, it gets 7 hours of sun and then it's in the shade. Yes, you're going to be able to grow something. If it's heavy, if it's mostly heavy shade, no, you're going to have problems. But yeah, you'll grow fine in partial sunlight. Glenn Wide, did I hear about the plot to take the power grid down in Baltimore? Yeah, the two husband and wife, were they neo-Nazis or something like that? They wanted to burn the whole city down or whatever it is. It's good. Lock them up, throw away the key. Fine. 2 less useless eaters. Let's see. Just for your FYI, green-lipped muscle supplement for dogs reversed my daughter's dog's joint problems. Okay. If you can do me a favor, email me. I've never heard of that. So if you can email me where I can get it or what it looks like or something, I'd appreciate it. It's worth a shot until you tell me it's $200 a bottle, and then it ain't happening that way. We'll stick to the arthritis medicine. Robert Winslow, Green Giant veggie burgers taste like fermented pond scum. Okay, I got to ask, when was the last time you ate fermented pond scum? Had them at the ex-girlfriend's house. Maybe why she's the ex. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. If I want a burger, I want beef. Okay. If I want a salad, I'll have my vegetables. Betty Jo Driscoll, would I ever buy a praying mantis to put in my garden? No. Okay. I'd never buy ladybugs or anything like that. Remember, what you need to have what's natural to your area. Okay. You can go out. I mean, I see this when I go to the garden centers and stuff like that. They'll sell boxes of ladybugs, and you go put them out in the garden. They may hang out for half an hour, and then they take off and they go back to where they're from. Okay. You need to have those local ones, from the park, down the street. That might be good. Okay. But the ones you're picking up at Home Depot, no, don't. That's 100% does not work. True heart and intent, best counties in Tennessee. I can't tell you that. There's 60, 70 counties in here or whatever. I think, name about 5 of them. I know nothing in West Tennessee, Central Tennessee, south of Knoxville, anything like that. I know my little area, and that's it. Patrick King, drink more beer, add more nitrogen. Drink more water, add more nitrogen, maybe, but no, I don't need to, recycle fermented fertilizer. No. Yarn Prepper, we're having trouble finding lamp oil. That's interesting. Okay. 8:59. Okay, let's see. One more question. Just for your FYI, Super Snouts Joint Powered Joint Supplement for dogs is the one with the green lip muscles. Okay, I'm going to copy that real quick and then I will go for one more. All right, copy. And Ildiko, did you ever consider to grow mushrooms? Are a good source of protein? One of you guys sent me some mushroom spores. I've still got them. They're in the fridge. Last year's projects, between the pond getting completely effed up and then the garage taking forever, wound up delaying the getting the backyard, working on the backyard. So I haven't even got the area yet to put them in. So we finally took care of the trees. Now I've got to literally clean all the rocks, till, fork the whole backyard so I can do something with it, so I can plant back there. Because right now it's Tennessee clay. I mean, it's concrete. And so I've got to get a bunch of compost mixed in there so we can grow something in there. And then I want to get a bed in the shade that I can specifically grow mushrooms in. But I've got to do one thing at a time. And I want to do it, but I'm not there yet. So I've still got the stuff. I hope they make it a year, because I've had them almost a year at this point. But all right, guys, it is 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. We will see you all on the main channel tomorrow morning. Pinball out.